I'm an American. I pay $1,600 for a flat that has no bedroom. That's 2/3 of my income. I'm an American. I work 50 hours a week. I don't have health insurance. I'm an American. I couldn't afford to have a child even if I wanted to. I am $7,000 in debt. I'm an American. My health is declining because I can't afford Whole Foods because that's too expensive for my life. I am very overqualified for my job, but no one else is hiring. I'm an American. I make my boss hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars, while I can barely keep myself alive. I'm an American. I have never been out of the States. I have never been on a vacation. I'm an American. I make 20-some dollars an hour. A livable wage here is like 30-some. Yet I don't qualify for government assistance whatsoever. On the days I don't work, I'm so tired I just sleep all day. I'm an American. My electric bill is so expensive I sit outside in the heat because I can't afford to turn the AC on in the damn house. I'm an American, and I fear I'm just an average American. I'm living the American dream.
I know I look ugly right now, but I don't even care, bro. I don't care. Yo, tell me why I just went to work today and was there probably an hour. They called me and my lab partner. They said, can you and so-and-so come into the conference room with me? And right then, that moment, I knew we were cooked. Long story short, our positions have been eliminated. The worst part about all of this is I literally started that job because I came from a lab that I got laid off from because the company closed. So I literally have just been here just a little bit over a year. And here I am again, right back in the same freaking position, bro. I can't do this, bro. Like, it took everything in me not to crash out in there on them folks because I am just so angry. I'm so tired. It's like, if it's not one thing, it's another, bro. And on top of that, I'm in the middle of trying to move too. I don't know what I'm gonna do now. I've been working in labs in Little Rock since 2021. There are no labs here for real that are paying more than $20 an hour. It took me for 3 months to find this job after I got laid off from my last job. I worked in 5 different labs at this point. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. I don't know where to apply. I don't know. This is just all so. This is just too much. This is too much. This is too much. This is too freaking much for me.
While America celebrated job growth, Black women lost more jobs in the last 90 days than any other subgroup. Black women lost 304,000 jobs in 3 months. This is not a coincidence. It is the AI disruption around hiring and retention and around being displaced by AI that no one really wants to talk about. We are really seeped in talking about the federal workforce cuts, DEI programs being dismantled, but AI automation creates the perfect storm that affects and is affecting Black women right now. Black women's unemployment jumped from 5.1% to 6.3%, while the nation's average stayed flat at 4.2%. I was speaking at the ATD conference in May, and I asked the question, who gets reskilled and who gets left behind? And that is the question that we have to answer. The data is alarming. 53% of jobs occupied by people of color will be replaced within 5 years by AI. That's right, 53%. But nobody's really talking about it. It's not just the current job loss. 84% of Black women are breadwinners, meaning we contribute at one of three levels within our household. Meaning we contribute 100% because we are single moms or divorced moms or single, or we contribute less than 50% or less than 50%. When we lose work, entire families and communities suffer. By 2030, 4.5 million jobs occupied by Black professionals will face automation. So let me say that again. By 2030, 4.5 million jobs occupied by Black professionals will face automation. So the question is, do we wait for that to happen? Because no one is coming to save us. No one is coming to save us. We must save ourselves. We need Black-owned investment in our community to upskill and reskill us for the AI future. That is what we need right now. Not later, right now. And these unemployment numbers is the wake-up call for all of us. That is what we need to focus in on.
So the beautiful bill about the past nurses. So you know what that means. Medicaid about to get canceled, hospital about to be packed, and travel nurse money about to go up. Get ready.
I don't think it's really going to work out like she thinks it is. If I was a nurse or a healthcare professional and works in a hospital right now, I would be scared. And I'm only going to talk about facts. And I'm speaking as a psychiatric nurse practitioner, so excuse me if I'm a little blunt. But I'm going to tell you what I used to see while working in a hospital. The biggest one that is going to eliminate a lot of patients' eligibility is requiring them to work at least 80 hours a week. Have you ever seen a person who's manic or schizophrenic and actively psychotic try to work? I'm waiting. And since you wanted to talk about the money, let's talk about it. Most of the money that travel nurses make when they're on really high paying contracts, they come from rural hospitals. Now, what's going to happen to those rural hospitals under the new beautiful big bill? One state alone, Arizona, is going to lose $1.2 billion in Medicaid funding. 1 in 5 patients that you have in your hospital has Medicaid. For psych, it's way more. I would say 4 out of 5 or 3 out of 5 for inpatient. No shade when I say this, but I am a nurse practitioner. This person is a nurse. That is a non-billable, non-revenue job. When cuts come into hospitals, what happens? Nurses get more patients. You get unsafe ratios. More patients are probably going to come into the hospital sicker because they're not getting regular preventative care, and they can't because they can't afford it or qualify for Medicaid's rules. I wouldn't say that this bill is a win if you work in healthcare in a hospital or if you take Medicaid like me.
So I come from the era in time where if you live in a DMV, then you know this to be a thing, especially if you're a millennial, where our parents was always like, oh, the federal government is where you have job security and all the things. Gone is that day, baby. Gone is the day of thinking that having a federal government job is going to secure your position. I worked in contracting in the acquisitions office, and they have asked multiple acquisition offices, we are the people that sign the contracts to allow the government to buy goods and services. So they can barely even move with taking us out. So I don't even know what's going to happen, and quite frankly, it's not even my responsibility to figure that out. But I just wanted to say, gone is the day of job security, really in any sector, whether it's private or public. And I think that that is the new reality that we have to face. What that's going to look like going forward, I don't know. But I do know that having assets, having investments is an even better option. So I'm thankful that I have some of those things. So I'm going to leverage them to make certain that my next moves are my best moves. But imagine those who couldn't afford to have some assets. Imagine those who couldn't afford to invest. That is a real thing. And even though I know that God orders each and every one of our steps, the reality is that we need money. And sometimes for some people without a job, there is no money. And that is the new normal here in the US. So it's just something for us to really start to grasp and think about.
It's important to support the people who've worked so hard for this country and for our foreign policy. And so while I hope that their firing, which I consider illegal, is going to be somehow retracted, it's important to let them know today that we're here for them, and we appreciate that they've given their lives. And I know, because I gave 30 years of my life to help America's interests overseas.
And stop using this goddamn excuse. Man, I was so pissed off reading the comments under that Black Millionaires post. Every black woman kept saying the reason why black women's unemployment rate dropped is because all of those black women left the workforce and became entrepreneurs. Can y'all take some accountability, bro? God damn. Forgive me, Lord, for saying that, but are y'all serious? Lord have mercy. Seriously, this is insane. Every woman, because they left the workforce and became entrepreneurs. Do y'all know that the average business that a black woman starts, it doesn't make it to 5 years, and the average earnings is about $24,000. And I've covered this. Some of it is not your fault because the funding isn't there for the black community as a whole. So typically, what hinders black women in their businesses, they have to use their own money to fund them. Because if they were getting those loans, that funding, and they could borrow from some companies, which is what Goldman Sachs is trying to do. I know y'all seen that report a while back. Then it will be a better shot of that business, thriving. And then also one of the other reasons why black women's businesses don't work is because you guys tend to open businesses in the same markets, like beauty, retail, so on and so forth. Okay. It's that simple. And then third thing that hinders black women's businesses is that you guys typically have other jobs while building those businesses. Typically, when you build a business with employees, that's going to be your primary source of income. For black women, it's not that. You guys have to fund it, but you also still have to work a 9-to-5, so to speak. And this is not me saying this. You can find all this information out on the Goldman Sachs report. The Goldman Sachs report explains this all. I covered this a while back. Okay, so this is not me spitballing. You can find everything that I just said within that report. And I'm actually linking into this once I clip this up. So I'm trying to help y'all. If you ain't noticed it, I'm trying.
Oh my God, bro, I literally hate it, right? Whenever I tell people I'm from Oklahoma, and they start laughing at me. They're like, oh, you're from Oklahoma. You live in Oklahoma. Yay ho, yay ho. Do you guys go picking your potatoes? Do you guys ride your horses to school? Do you guys have cows as friends? Y'all go tornado chasing? As if I want to live here. And then when I tell people that, people are like, just move then. Just move. Oh. Does it look like I have the financial stability, okay, to move out of this state, move to a different one, and start a new life? In this economy? Oh my God, bitch, literally the other day I went to the store because I wanted to buy my favorite snack, right? I was craving it. I go there. That shit was $6 for just a bag of chips. Also, as if it fucking matters if I move anywhere else, because it literally doesn't change the fact that this country in general is just now one big shithole!
Laid off, and I feel like everybody who gets laid off is always like, oh, I'm on fun employment, or I'm fun employed. And I just want to know, when does the fun start? Because I'm not having fun. In fact, the funds are about to be low. I need help.